Hey y'all, this is Amanda and welcome back to my Texas Zone 8A garden, and today I'm in the backyard and I'm going to be completing my summer pruning series. So I've already got two other videos out where I pruned back perennials and annuals during the summer. It is the hottest part of the summer. This is the best time for me to go ahead and give my plants a little bit of a reprieve and then basically give them a break from the heat and then get them refocused so that I can have some really great blooms going into the end of summer, beginning of fall. So I've already done the two videos so far. I did the front garden and the side garden, and so now we're in the backyard and we're going to be doing some heavy pruning back here. One of the main areas I'm going to be concentrating on is my zinnia bed, which is out of control. So let's go ahead and start with that one. Now this is my zinnia bed over here. Everything's moving forward. I am struggling with powdery mildew, and I also have these perennial sunflowers. I always forget the name. I'll put them down there for you. They're all leaning forward even though they're planted back against the wall. So one of the first things I'm going to do is I'm going to just set up a simple system with things I already have to get all of these sunflowers to go back against these windows, and then after that we'll survey what we have and I'll show you how I'm going to prune all this back. So I'm going to be using a pretty simple system. I didn't want to go buy anything, but basically I've got 3 metal stakes. These are some vintage candle holders that I got years ago, and I've got bungee cords. So basically what I'm going to do is I want a 3-point system with the stakes. So I'm going to gauge where my plants are, and I'm going to start one. I'm going to put the stake in pretty deep because I want it to make sure it's nice and strong. So one on the side, and then the next one I'm going to go all the way to the other side. The last plant, there's 3 plants in here, and then gotta like weave my way out of here. And then the last one is going to go in the very center. Okay. So, and then from there, I'm going to work with bungee cords. These are longer bungee cords. But basically, I'm going to hook on one end, right? And then I'm going to make sure the bungee cord goes behind the center part and then on the side. The reason I want to do that is because if I just do 2 ends with the bungee cord, everything will lean forward and this part will come forward. So if I have it behind the stake, that'll give it some extra support. I'm just making sure that the sunflowers are between the bungee cord and the wall. Starting down low with all of them. And then all I'm going to do is hook it on the stake. Just like that. Bungee cord. So let me do one that's a little bit higher now. And ideally, I would have done this earlier in the season so that they would look nicer. But here we are. Now I've got a couple of rogue guys over here. I'm going to pull those out. I don't want these going this direction. Look at those roots. Woo! Okay. And as you can see, we're in way better space now to actually do some work within the zinnia patch. So my next goal is, I've got several things going on here. I've got lemon basil here, and I've got a ton of zinnias, and I have a lot of zinnias that are suffering from powdery mildew that need to be cut out. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go pull out any diseased or dead zinnias or lemon basil. Anything that looks like this, anything that looks like that kind of situation. You can see a lot of the dead in there. So let's start by doing that. Okay, that was intense. I pulled out a lot. So there was a lot of powdery mildew in there, which I don't want to deal with powdery mildew, and I'm not going to try to combat it because it's just really not my favorite thing to do. And so I left some zinnias, so I should have blooms pretty soon on those zinnias. And then what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to end up going in here, and wherever there's an emitter like this, I'll probably drop a zinnia seed in there, just to see if I can get another round of zinnias going. I did reveal a lot of lemon basil, so I'm going to be harvesting a ton of that. But there's a ton of baby seedlings that want to come up, and so this will be great because this clears out more space, gives it more sun. But yeah, looks pretty rough, but this will be a better situation all across the board for the sunflowers and for the zinnia and basil beds. All right, let's go to the next thing. Okay, the next area I'm going to work on is the petunias over here. I do not know what variety these petunias are. They were from homegrown, but they're doing really well. It's time to go ahead and get them a trim back so that they don't die out. So basically what I'm doing is going in and taking a handful, and I'm cutting about the top like 6 inches off, and then I am going to cut off around the base of the planter. You can't even see the planter. These are done so beautifully. But I'm just going to take off this side portion of it. And just give them, a refresh. It's basically where we're at, y'all. And this will give it some time to rest during all our 100-degree weather, and then put on some new growth for the fall. All right, so just a general haircut like that. That's what I'm going for. Now over here I have some more petunias, but I think I'm going to cut back my cosmos first. So all of these right here are chocolate cosmos. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to find the plant, and I'm just going to cut off the top 6 inches just to refresh and create new blooms. Chocolate Cosmos has been super happy. Spread out a lot. I'm going to have to take him back pretty far in some places. I do expect for the Cosmos to keep blooming pretty profusely. Look how woody this petunia right here has gotten. I'm not sure if the petunia is going to come back, but we'll see. If it doesn't, I can pop something else in here. It won't be an issue. And then the next thing I need to do is train this bougainvillea a little bit more up the trellis. I think I should have trained some of this earlier when the branches were more bendable. When the branches were newer, I think it would have been easier to train it, but here we are. Okay, we have this set over here as well that needs to be trimmed up. It's absolutely looking beautiful. Buffy's back here eating grass. She always eats grass. It's not because she's sick. It's just her thing to do. So I've got some crazy stuff coming off, going up into the tree on my star jasmine right here. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a little prune. Remember that star jasmine also puts off like a milky substance when you cut it. I'm not going to do a whole lot with it. I just want to make sure I get it out of the tree. And then we've got another petunia. There's also a Calibrachoa mixed into this one. So I'm going to start with just my trim around the edges. We'll just start with that first. And I know y'all are all like, what are you doing? I know. So it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. This is good. Everybody needs a little haircut from time to time. And this also had a, I thought it had a, what do you call it in here? A cosmos, but oh, it had a dahlia in here. I'll just get that dahlia big trim back. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and trim back this petunia pretty drastically. I don't know if this petunia is going to come back, but we'll see. It might. I'd already given this big plant a nice trim back earlier this season because it got massive. So I'll just clean that up there. And then this guy over here is more cosmos. And I might have given him a trim back already. I don't recall. So this right here is purple and white bicolor Dianthus. And I need to take these dead blooms all the way down. These are supposed to be a perennial for me, so I'm hoping next year that the stems will get much taller. Now my purple trailing lantana is doing really well, but I do need to start training it over the side like this. Basically, I just come together and I bring the plant together like this and just make sure I have it going this way. I have some obedient plants coming up here that are looking really good. Those are fun. I am going to cut them back because they are looking like they're trying to sprout a whole bunch of new lower stuff. And I would like for them to concentrate on that. Now your lantana, if you can't get it to stay back, you can just cut some of it away, the part that's going back into the planter, and then just help redirect it forward like that. That helps a lot. And here I've got cucumber plants going crazy. So let's see what's up with that. Okay, we're going to have to cut some vines out. Maybe we'll just give it a light pruning. And then once again, I'm redirecting the lantana out of the container, just like that. So what I'm going to basically do is go in and trim any leaves that don't look good, and redirect any vines that need to be redirected. Truthfully, these vines are typically gone by this time of year for me. But I think since I planted them so late, they did better. All right, I've got one trying to go the wrong way. So I'll redirect him. Okay, that feels better. Okay, so I've got one gladiola, lone gladiola that waited forever to bloom. All the other ones are done. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut back their leaves. Look how much that opens up. I've got some Hyacinth Bean right here, Ruby Moon Hyacinth Bean. Just want to make sure that I'm continue to redirect the vines up and over the trellis over here. Okay, so I've got my St. John's wort over here, also known as Hypericum berry. And I'm going to give it a nice prune back. I obviously need to get in here and cut back a lot of this grass too. It doesn't do very well in the summer, the Hypericum berry doesn't. So I find if I give it a midsummer prune, I can get a bunch of new blooms coming up for the fall. And I think the plant really enjoys it. But just like that, that's what I'm doing, just trying to get it to start fresh. And then next I have a butterfly bush that needs a good trim back. I'm just going to be trimming off all of its blooms across the top. I forget to trim these. And then you can see this Hypericum is struggling more. So we will be cutting out anything that looks like significantly dead and taking this back pretty far to give it some reprieve. But I can already see lots of new growth trying to come up. Then there's a lot going on in this container. I had planted this clearance Mandevilla Vine and it died. So let's go ahead and pull it out. Sucks. At least it didn't play full price. And then I've got a lot of glads in here that need to come out. And I'm just cutting all those back. Okay, and then just pulling my lantana forward like that. I've got a purple hyacinth bean, looks like it's training well. And then not really much to do on this container. I'm going to trim out a little bit of this lantana back here. This is a container where I'd recently planted the clearance Coleus and it's looking great. It's coming up really well. Okay, a couple of things in this area. I'm going to take this marigold down pretty far. It's a giant mission yellow marigold, and I'm just cutting above a set of leaves. Like that. Hopefully I didn't see that. Okay, also in here I have a whole bunch of Drumstick Allium. So I'm just going to take those all the way to the ground. I don't actually love them here. There's a good chance I might pull them next spring after they come up. Okay, this next one's going to feel pretty harsh. I've got some Thai basil right here, and I've got lots of snapdragons. These snapdragons need to be taken back to about 6 inches above the ground, which seems really harsh, but it'll be really good. They can't bloom when it's this hot in my area, so they don't bloom, they don't bloom well. And so I'm going to get that all cut back. And basically, I'm just going to take a handful of plant like this, and I'm just going to give it a nice chop like that. But let's fast forward this. Okay, let's take a look at a few things. We're getting to the end of the sunflowers. I'm going to be popping new sunflowers in there. I did want to show you that I had harvested a bunch of Dianthus, and now I'm getting a whole nother round coming back. Just these really beautiful, soft, rosy pink colors. And all I do is I just harvest all the way down to the base, and you can see it starts new blooms from there. Also this beautiful lavender color. It's looking really nice. I got the Snapdragons all cut back. Check out this Pro Cut Gold Light. It's my favorite sunflower. Things are looking really good. Got a little seed action going over here. Or a little weed action, I mean. A Petunia that doesn't even get watered. It just stuck there. It's still in its nursery pot. These moss roses and purslane came back from last year. It's not on water. Just does its own thing. A lot of pretty stuff coming up, even though I cut so much back. Have a lot of celosia coming up. This has reseeded itself from last year. And I loved the yellow celosia from last year too. It's really nice. I was also pleasantly surprised to discover that my delphinium, see that guy right there? It's coming back from the base of the plant. And delphinium is supposed to be a perennial in my area, but I've never gotten it to overwinter, so I'm kind of psyched. I shouldn't even say overwinter. I've never been able to get it to make it through the summer. And over here we have straw flower coming up. It's really pretty. The Gomphrena that I planted not long ago is doing beautifully. Check that out. This is the Audrey White, and that's the Audrey Pink. A bunch of my Zinnias seedlings I planted over here ended up getting chewed up by some insect, so I'll have to restart with that. Okay, a little sweaty. It's about 9:30 in the morning. It's like 92 degrees. Humidity is a lot. But this was the last big pruning that I needed to do. I'm so proud of myself. I was also really proud of myself that I broke it down into multiple days and over a few weeks, just so that I didn't make myself miserable, that I could actually kind of enjoy it, the process is going through. I don't know about other gardeners, but summer pruning works so well for me. Now, it's always hard, and I get questions about this. How do I sacrifice my blooms? Why do I cut away the blooms? Doesn't it make me sad? Yes and no. It doesn't make me sad anymore because I know what's to come now. I know that this is going to lead to beautiful fall blooms. And a lot of these, if I were to leave them as is and not do anything during the summer, most likely the plant would perish. And most likely I wouldn't get very many blooms, if any, in the fall. So that's why you want to do this. You want to prune this back, prune back your perennials and your annuals during the summer, and allow yourself to have a beautiful fall season. All right, you all, I hope you enjoyed today's video. As always, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you know when my latest videos are up. And make sure you check me out on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. As always, she's a mad gardener or a decorator or anything else that she wants to be. Thanks, y'all.